Hello, and nice to see you after almost 1 month of a break. Let's see what we prepared for you in this month, because there are new and interesting videos, and I hope that you will like it. And if you like it, of course, please give it a big subscribe and a big like. And let's see, because this month the usual question for our customers or our possible clients was like this: is still Romania a good country to invest in 2024? Because there are a lot of fiscal changes and multiple ideas from our government that may affect the businesses. I, as an chartered accountant and a business consultant here in Romania, I may say like this: yes, it's still worth it as long as you find legal ways to reduce your taxes, because there are legal ways to do this. So let's see further how we can do this and what to expect from this video. Thank you. First of all, let's remember a little bit what means microenterprise, because the conditions changed a little bit this year, so it's mandatory to point it out in here. First of all, you need to be careful not to have consultancy incomes more than 20% from the turnover that you will have. Secondly, if you want to keep your status as microenterprise, you must not own more than 25% of the shares as individual in another company. So basically, if you have two companies where you are 100% shareholder, means that in one company you need to drop down this percentage and to put it as maximum 25 in order for the other one to have also 1 or 3%, because otherwise it will be changed into 16% tax on profit, not on income. Thirdly, you must have at least one employee with full-time employment contract, but this is also something that you already knew from the previous year. And fourthly, and this is the new condition, you must not have any financial statement unsubmitted to fiscal authorities for all the previous years until 31 of March 2024. This means that you need to, if you already have a company here in Romania, you need to talk to your accountant and see if everything is submitted to your company in order not to have surprises after that. Another thing that I want to remember and I want to point it out in here is the change in the tax rates for microenterprise. Because being an enterprise here in Romania in 2024, it will mean like this: you will have 1% tax on income up to the ceiling of 60,000 euro as turnover if you do not have activity in fields like IT, health or Horeca. And also after this ceiling up to 500,000 euro, the percentage for tax on income, it will be 3%. If, for example, you are in one of these fields, IT field, Horeca or health services, the percentage for the tax on income is 3% since the beginning. It doesn't matter that and also you need to have one employee, of course, with full-time employment contract. Now, let's see how do you reduce taxes on microenterprise. Honestly, on microenterprise, it's a little bit harder to talk about reducing the taxes because, first of all, you are paying tax on income and not on profit. But still, we can talk about reducing the tax on dividends. What does this mean? Of course, that 8% that you are applying to the profit that you are having when you withdraw the money from the company to your personal account. This is what you can reduce. What are the ways to reduce this 8%? Of course, first of all, you can make expenses in the interest of the company, you as a shareholder or one of your employees, and these expenses will drop down the profit, which means that you'll be paying 8% to a less profit. And secondly, you can check to see if there are some fiscal facilities for your kind of activity. Now, let's switch a little bit on companies that are paying tax on profit, because starting with this year, this kind of possibility, it's more than it was before, which means that let's say 40% of the companies switch to this type of taxation. Let's see how you reduce legally taxes for companies that are paying tax on profit. The most common and usual is, of course, having deductible expenses, which means that you need to be really careful with what expenses you'll be doing on that company and to be 100% in the interest of the company and not in your personal interest. If this is okay, then you can put as an expense, and instead of paying 16% of a higher profit, you can diminuate it to what it is, will remain in the end. Number 2, sponsorship. Starting with this year, the only companies that can still do sponsorships are the companies that are paying tax on profit. This is applicable to all the companies with this taxation system, and the percentages that are applicable are like this. The smallest amount between 0.75 from the turnover or 20% from the profit. So the smallest amount that results from this, you can diminuate directly from the tax on profit. And thirdly, equity. Maintaining a positive equity and at the value of minimum half of your social capital shares will mean that you can have 2% at least bonification from your tax on profit. So these are the most common usual ways to reduce taxes for taxes on profit, and we will detail a little bit the first one, because the first one is really important. Okay, you heard me about deductible expenses. It's really important to know that there are 3 types of expenses: deductible expenses, partially deductible expenses, or non-deductible expenses. Let's see first of all what means to be deductible. What do you need in order to be deductible? So the most important thing is the receipt or the invoice or any document that proves that that expense was made in the interest of the company and 100% in the interest of the company and not in your personal interest. So this is the basic. We need the document that stays behind that expense. Otherwise, it's a non-deductible expense. So in this case, you need to be really careful. You need to keep it and send them to accounting. Now, let's analyze a little bit the deductible expenses, because everybody is interested in what he or she can deduct, and if these expenses are in the interest of the company. I will give you a list which is the most common. This doesn't mean that you can have other expenses, so don't take it as it is. This may suffer some modifications if you want. First of all, you can deductible 100% are the expenses related to marketing and promotion of the company and advertising and publicity and so on. So everything related to this field is 100% deductible. Another expense which is 100% deductible is connected to the transportation of the employees or either for the employer, yes, for the shareholder abroad or in Romania's territory in order to develop the business, to find new business partners, to attend to certain classes, maybe for perfection and so on. Research and development expenses are also deductible 100%. Staff salary and everything related to payroll also deductible 100%, because we are talking also about the contributions in this case. And of course, the most important for everybody is expenses with raw materials, with merchandise, with transportation of the goods. These are all deductible. So this is, as I said before, these are just some examples. You can have more than this. We need to check it exactly. If you want, you may leave a comment or you may ask in the comments if you have a certain or a particularly expense, and we may analyze together. What can be partially deductible, because this is also important. Let's take the most common is with the business meals. For example, you can deduct 2% of the profit of the accounting profit you have. Salary expenses, there are some salary expenses up to 33.33% of the salary net fund. In this case, you can have pension, health insurance, certain abonnements and so on. After that, meal tickets also, they are partially deductible and they have some amounts and ceilings that you need to respect. Depreciation expenses, because if you buy, for example, an expensive car, you can deduct only 1,500 RON as a deductible expense. Also related to cars, if you do not prove that the expense is 100% in the interest of the company, then the deduction, it will be only 50% and not 100%. And the list may continue. This, as I said, it's also something which is as example. For further information, you may contact us. What you cannot deduct on the company. First of all, the expense with the tax on profit. This is not deductible. This is separately. Expenses related to non-taxable incomes are also not deductible. And everything that is not related to the company's interest, it's, as I said, non-deductible. So you need to be really, really careful. So, long story short, let's see how you can reduce the taxes and what are the conditions to do this. Obviously, first of all, you need to see what you want to, what is your legal form here in Romania. If SRL as microenterprise, SRL as tax on profit company, if you want a PFA with real system taxation, if you want a profit to pay to a PFA with a certain ceiling, you just need to decide what you want to do and what you can do, because some of them cannot be done by foreigners. So it's really important to establish your form, and from there on we can see what you can deduct, reduce and so on. Secondly, tax deduction. You need to identify by yourself or with the help of a fiscal or business consultant what are the tax deduction for the field of activity that you have. If, I don't know, investing in equipment may represent something, or if you have other fiscal facilities, you need to identify them. Thirdly, tax planning. Also, this is also really, really important, because you need to plan in advance what you want to do, what are your expenses, what you can deduct or what you cannot deduct. It's, as I said, crucial to have a fiscal consultant near to you to see exactly what you can do on the company. In the fourth place, let's say, is monitoring the legislative modification. Also, in this case, I believe that it would be better for you if you would have somebody close to you, your accountant, your fiscal consultant, your lawyer, it doesn't matter. The important thing is to keep updating you with all the fiscal changes, because as it was in the beginning in the year, it may be also during the year. So it's important to see if this applies to you or not. And fifth, specialized consulting. What I mean by this is like this. You need to have somebody that knows your field of activity to see if there are some fiscal facilities that you may not know, or if they recommend something else for you, because you may know what to do and what you want to do, but it's really important to see if that is according to the legislation, according to the law. Now, as a final tip, please remember that compliance with laws is really, really important in a business. What I'm saying here is not to avoid the law, it's just to try to find legal ways to reduce the taxes. So be attentive to what you are doing, discuss with your accountant, with your lawyer, and try not to make decisions by your own, only after you already consulted somebody in advance. So this being said, I'm really glad that I could give you this news, and I hope that this will help you. And if you have any other question, you may let them here in the news, in the messages area, or you can book an appointment on Calendly. We will see. I just wait your reactions. Thank you very much.